Entschuldigung.
Gesundheit.
Vielen
Alles
Dank.
Gute.
Ah, puh, meine Skillallergie ist wieder, wenn ich mit Phunk telefoniere. Oh.
Ich freue mich so drauf.
Violence. Oh.
Ja. Das ist von den Ori and the Will of the Wisps Machern.
Ja. Ich finde den Stil so geil halt, ne? Wir haben den Trailer schon gesehen und fanden das da schon geil.
Hey everyone, I'm Thomas.
And I'm Gennady.
Wenn die jetzt das Hauptmenü zeigen, bin ich böse.
Das ist auch Hauptmenü.
Back then, there weren't all that many modern Metroidvania games out there.
Ori war so schön, ne? Ist immer noch so unfassbar schön.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Ja, vor allen Dingen das Ende, nicht wahr, Erik?
Ach, halt die Klappe, Phunk. Und Might Magic, hä? Wie war da das Ende?
Oh, ich kann dir eine ganze Liste bei dir aufzählen. Ich bin ruhig, wir sind ruhig.
Because for over 20 years we've been playing action RPGs religiously, and we always dreamt of where this genre could be taken next. At the same time, we felt that we could do even more within the Metroidvania genre, and so we embarked on making Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
war so irre.
We ultimately shipped another game that was incredibly well received and that we're deeply, deeply proud of.
But we had never forgotten about our dream of creating our own action RPG.
Erster Versuch.
We have left our mark on one genre before. Now we hope to do the same for action RPGs.
Ein Schal würde ich bei dir auch sehen, Phunk.
Our story begins 841 years after the Embrace. King Harrow is dead, and he's to be succeeded by his young and untested son Magnus.
Der ist böse, das sieht man schon, der Sohn.
Meanwhile, rumors of the return of a great plague, known as the Pestilence, are starting to emerge.
Ist der Mensch an sich nicht böse?
Magical Celine, a
Ja, aber mit
ruthless
Abstufung,
figure
ne?
in the church, sees the
in
Pestilence
Tiersubs.
as a chance to prove herself. These forces converge on the backwater of Isola Sacra, where rebel groups and the provincial government fight for control amid the isle's crumbling ruins. As a Sarim, a member of an ancient sect devoted to defeating the pestilence, you are sent on a merchant ship to investigate. En route, your ship comes under attack from a rebel group known as the Risen.
Okay.
The battle leaves the vessel battered and badly damaged. The ship stands little chance as it limps towards the shore and it is torn apart on the rocks at sea. You find yourself washed up at the shores of Isola Sacra, bruised and unarmed, and end up caught in the midst of both the vast political struggle and the fight for survival.
No rest of the wicked.
Das Hauptmenü.
With no rest for the...
Sag mal, ich habe bei mir heute nur Ladeschnecke
We
dauernd.
decided to handcraft an entirely seamless world. Nothing in this game is procedurally generated. Instead of moving across a randomly generated flat plane,
guck's
throughout
über
the
YouTube, ne?
showcase, you'll
Ja,
notice
ja,
that
ja.
our world is dense, interactive,
Fang jetzt 8
uses
Sekunden vor dir,
verticality, and that every inch was crafted by a designer.
Arme Tür.
You'll be well served, always
Sieh noch
paying
keine Tür,
attention
Funk.
to your surroundings too.
Oh.
There are secret areas just about everywhere that usually reward you with precious items. Loot in No Rest for the Wicked is randomized. It ensures that every player has their own unique experience, and that every time you explore an area, you might just finally get that last gold ore or new battle axe you've been waiting for. We abandoned the old point-and-click model to move your character around. We wanted players to have ultimate
jetzt fängt
control
jetzt bei
over
mir.
their character.
Ah.
Every movement
Hoffentlich
you
8
make
Sekunden.
should feel tactile and intentional. For that reason, we designed Wicked to be played using WASD or a controller.
I knew it. Should have never brought you on.
Alles mit der Hand gezeichnet.
Ich finde das immer noch so krass einfach.
You'll never make it to Sacrament.
Ich frage mich halt, wie das animiert. Also die Texturen sind gezeichnet, aber
Instead of
draufgelegt und
going for
3D animiert.
realism,
Ne?
our goal is
ja.
always to create games that look like a
Das hatten
painting
die
come
zum Teil
to
auch bei
life.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps schon. Dieses
Our artists spent years
3,5D-mäßige.
meticulously modeling and hand painting all of Isola Sacra.
Sieht alles ein bisschen aus wie Gemälde, ne?
You will traverse through plenty of breathtakingly
Als würdest du in
beautiful
Fotomodus gehen und
environments,
spielen und dann diesen
lit with
Comic-Look drüber
natural
legen oder
day
so.
and night cycles, immersed in dynamic weather. We also engineered a very special way of rendering our top-down world, where you can always see so much further into the distance.
Und das ohne gelbe Farbe. Wahnsinn.
Our goal was to make everything as interactive as possible. If an object looks like you can climb it, then you can actually climb
Ich
it.
wusste genau, was kommt, weil du es gesagt hast. Man musste nur gucken,
Also
wo man
bist du immer
If
noch
an
klettert.
object is too thin to
Ja,
walk
ja,
over it,
ja.
you might just need to balance your way across.
Ach krass, okay. Boah, Junge, dann die Sachen aber richtig zu finden oder hinzukommen, da brauchst du aber, glaube ich, ein bisschen Übung, oder? Mhm. Geil.
Right from the start, we decided to create an animation-driven combat system, which to us meant that every attack you make should be carefully considered. We wanted to bring weighty, precision-driven combat to the top-down space. Combat that's inspired by several different genres, from ARPGs to fighting games.
Viel ausweichen.
In order to overcome an opponent, you need to watch out for telegraphed behaviors and then punish accordingly. Timing,
Und wir erfahren
spacing,
ja auch heute, wann es
and weapon
rauskommt.
weight are incredibly
Am Ende der
important
Prise.
in Wicked's combat model.
Also Kämpfe auf jeden Fall ein bisschen mit Geduld und nicht einfach nur blind drauf loskloppen.
In the rest for the Wicked, every single weapon has its own unique moveset and stats driven by RNG.
Nun, Erik.
Ja.
Regen, Wasser.
Auch wie die Tropfen
Using
bei den
this
runterfallen,
dagger,
ne?
I'll have a hard time breaking this enemy's shield. Let's try something different. If you time it just right, you can parry incoming attacks, allowing you to exploit an enemy's opening.
Ich bin im Parry bin ich so schlecht, ne?
Oh, ich auch. Unglaublich.
Gear in No Rest for the Wicked comes in 4 different rarities. White items are common. Unlike in other ERPGs, they're not trash loot.
Das
We
sind Tiers
instead
bei
made
Subs.
those the most customizable. Blue items are rare. They offer only positive enchantments. Purple items are cursed. They offer very positive enchantments, but they also come with a cursed enchantment. Gold items are unique. They are specifically handcrafted by our designers and offer unique
Kann ich auch selber Sachen craften? Oh, das wäre so geil.
This rare
ja,
claymore
soweit
we
ich weiß,
found
ja.
has an enchantment.
Also Crafting ist
Erik,
dabei,
fass
hab
mich an.
hab ich
Whenever I
gelesen.
deal
Crafting und
damage.
Hausbau, glaube ich, auch, ne? Wenn ich es richtig gelesen
Okay.
habe, ich will jetzt nichts Falsches sagen.
Ich hoffe, du kannst lesen.
Mal so, meine Brille war verschmiert.
Every weapon has a chance to drop with its own unique rune, which can then be extracted and used on other weapons. That way, players can come up with their own unique moveset.
Also dieses auch die Kerben im Boden.
You can
Oh
focus
ja,
the
ja,
combat.
oh geil.
It is then used to perform rune attacks. Let's try one.
Das Art-Team ist so krass.
Nice.
But every now and then, you might not
Einfach
even
ein
need to
Gemälde, was
use
sich
your
bewegt,
weapons
das
to
Spiel.
get rid of it. Sometimes, all you need is a little push.
Zum Glück ist es blutig
Every
und
weapon
erwachsen.
you'll find in
Entschuldigung.
No Rest for the Wicked has its
Fehlt mir
own
manchmal.
bespoke moveset, custom
Ja?
made by our incredible
Ja, ja.
animation
Auch Fantasy-Blut, wenn es so lila ist oder... Oh,
Nee,
Boss.
das ist was. Ja, kommt immer
Squash
drauf
and
an.
stretch and
Wenn
other
Menschen lila
animation
oder grün bluten, finde ich
principles
es komisch.
directly inform of combat design. Layered on top of that, enchantments that drastically impact weapon behavior, and our deep rune system. All of this culminates in a weapon system that we feel is extremely fun and engaging and allows every player to create their own style of combat. When it comes to gear like armor, there is a wide range of options, each with their own design and attributes. The weight of such items even affects your movement in combat. For instance, if you opt in for a lighter, faster build, you can quick step out of enemies' way.
siehst aus wie ein Mobile
Quick
Game.
steps are fast and don't consume a lot of stamina. With medium weight build, your character will dodge roll. Those are slower and consume more stamina.
Okay, ausweichen, langsamer, kostet mehr Ausdauer.
For no rest for the wicked, we designed a soft class system. Instead of locking you into a character class that you then have to adhere to for the entire playthrough, we want you to have the flexibility and freedom to play as the type of character you want to, and even come up with character classes we haven't even thought of.
Okay.
So
man kann einfach
far,
Mage
we've shown
werden.
what combat looks like with a
Okay.
more melee-focused build. Let's take a look at how combat changes for a mage.
Oh, geil.
This character build uses a two-handed staff. We have 3 rune specials available: Blink, Fireball, and Nova.
Okay.
Fighting multiple enemies is
Das
always
Licht mit dem
tricky.
Kamin.
When used right, Nova can be an absolute blast.
The uniqueness
Mage
of
würde ich
each
gerne beim Boss
item you
sehen.
find or craft, being able to create any character build you can think of through our soft class system, and the randomized loot, all of these systems combine to ensure each playthrough and every player's experience is never truly the same.
Ich glaube, du bist ein bisschen voraus.
Nein.
Firmenchefs.
Oh God.
I saw a Sacrament riddled with plagued enemies known as the Torn. As you can see, this Torn has been left to mutate and fester and will prove particularly vicious. Our best course of action is to study his moves and attack whenever
Ich bin
we
beim
see
Zusehen
an
dreimal Game Over gegangen. Sein.
Vor allem, der macht halt kaum Damage da unten. Ja, Junge.
Bosses are also quite brutal in No Rest for the Wicked. They will punish every mistake you will make. But keep a cool head, make use of all of the skills you've learned, and you just might succeed.
Das bin ich,
As
wenn
you
einer einen
can
frechen
see,
Kommentar
No Rest
schreibt.
for the Wicked is an intensely skill-based game. Your gear greatly influences your power in battle, but whether you die or overcome the challenge is ultimately down to your skill.
Jetzt brennt er auch, geil. Souls-like ist drin auf jeden Fall.
Along your journey, you will come across the town of Sacrament, the capital of Isola Sacra. Sacrament is a war-torn place, but over the course of your
Housing, glaube ich,
journey,
was du
you
angesprochen
can
hast.
help rebuild Sacrament to its former glory.
Oh, ignore their gates, Sarim. They likely never seen one of your kind.
In
Wann
order
kommt's
to
raus? Das erfahren
demonstrate
wir
that,
heute.
we'll switch to a realm
Ja.
that's already a little more advanced. Our goal is to make Sacrament as interesting and interactive as possible.
Read about it, Mary, where they're tailors at your service.
Ach, die Happy Zwillinge.
We agreed. My name goes first.
Don't pretend you don't smell it. Come have a taste.
And players will be in control over how Sacrament will evolve over time. For example, after my previous expedition, I helped Fillmore rebuild his smithy. He now sells better gear and is also able to upgrade our gear to a higher level.
Okay.
To that effect, we aim to make investing resources into Sacrament as satisfying and rewarding as investing resources into your character is.
Also ein bisschen wie beim Dungeon Crawler, dass wir quasi Charaktere freischalten können von unten,
Let's
die
take
dann hier
a
in der
look
Stadt
at another
arbeiten.
way you can make Sacrament your own.
Ja, und dann Also zumindest
In Sacrament, you'll be able to purchase real estate.
Genau.
Und das hilft dir. Und ein eigenes Haus.
Well,
Aber nicht genug
if
Geld.
you have the funds to afford it. Property in Sacrament
auf
can get a little bit expensive, but accumulate the riches and you can choose from a wide range of properties to suit anyone's taste. Your house is the perfect place to stash your loot, craft items, relax, and plan everything out for your next big run through the dangerous areas surrounding Sacrament. I just moved in here, so it's a little bit barren. Let's fix that.
Cool.
Out on your journey, you'll be able to collect or harvest valuable resources, which then can be used to craft new gear, furniture for your home, or even make improvements to the town itself. Catch a fish, for example, and it can be cooked and eaten, of course. But certain fish scales might even make for some fine armor.
Wenn ich jetzt noch Katzen
While
streichen
I was on
kann.
the shores of Sacra, I collected
Oh
some
ja, wehe, es gibt
pine
keine Pets
wood. So now,
Funktion oder
let's
so.
make use of that and make this place a little bit more cozy.
What?
Housing is incredibly cool
geil.
in No Rest for the Wicked.
Oh mein Gott.
Since you're
Geil.
not constrained to a grid, you can come up with some really organic looking designs.
Okay.
The
Aber
table
das Haus ist
looks
vorgegeben, ne? Die
nice,
Hausformen
but
sind
it's missing
vorgegeben.
Ich glaube ja.
Ja.
Much
Vielleicht aber auch
better.
gut so.
While some items you can place in
dich
your
ja.
house are just cosmetic,
Für dich
our
auch,
goal
Phunk.
is for most of them to be functional to have a gameplay purpose.
Ich brauche 7
With a
Etagen
range of
Lager.
properties to purchase and
Aber
an
es gibt verschiedene
incredibly
Häuser.
flexible interior
Ja.
design system, we hope players will be able to find and design a unique place for them to call home.
Geil.
Endgame.
Wozu was in einem Action-RPG? Ist doch geil.
One last thing we'd like to show you today is a system we call Alive. Although No Rest for the Wicked
Schadet ja
features
nicht,
a
wenn's da
traditional
ist.
campaign, it was
musst
important
es
to us
nicht
that the
machen.
Solar Sacra is very
Aber ich
much a
finde, das
living,
personalisiert das Ganze ein
breathing
bisschen
world.
immer.
In order to show you what that means, we're going to go to an area called Mariner's Keep. This is an area I've previously ventured through and explored. However, since my last journey through here, Nif have overrun the local area,
Krass.
presenting entirely new threats for me to tackle and resources for me to scavenge. The world of No Rest for the Wicked is constantly changing around you. And each time you visit a region, you'll be faced with a drastically different experience.
Guten Tag.
Ach du Scheiße.
Das war sehr aggressiv gewesen.
And No Rest for the Wicked.
Aus dem Klo-Monster.
You never really know what to expect. For those of you who asked about Endgame, yes, we've got you covered. While we don't want to give away too much at this point, once you reach the Endgame, you can enter the Sacrament Crucible. This is where you'll have to test your metal against some of the toughest enemies within No Rest for the Wicked.
Our goal is and always has been to create a very different action RPG, one that will hopefully move the genre forward. We believe that Moon Studios is in an incredibly unique position to deliver on this vision. We have some of the best talent in the world united behind this, and we're not afraid to take the risks that need to be taken in order to change up the status quo.
We've poured an incredible amount of blood, sweat, and tears into this project. And now we're at a point where we need your help to shape and build Wicked into the best game it can possibly be.
Therefore, we'd like to invite all of you who love this genre, who grew up
kann man
with it the
Infos über das
same
Spiel
way
bekommen?
we did,
Command
who are
Wicked.
excited to see a new
Da ist
take
er schon.
on it, to join us on this journey. And so we're happy to announce
Das kommt ja schneller als erwartet.
Wann kommt das Scheiße? Jetzt habe ich gerade beantwortet. Was?
After
Nee,
all of these
wir
years
zeigen es gleich bei dir.
into Steam Early Access next month.
Das kommt ja schneller als
on
erwartet.
April 18th.
Over the course of early access, we'll be tweaking, patching, and balancing the game with your input. And you will also see major
18.
content
April.
updates throughout development until we hit our 1.0 release.
Multiplayer ist
At which
Update
point
1, okay.
We're planning to release some
Breach.
consoles as well.
Wicked has been built from the ground up with multiplayer in mind. So the first of these major updates that we will be releasing in early access will be providing you with an innovative multiplayer experience, allowing you to play Wicked alongside or even against your friends.
Our second major content update will bring all new regions to Sacrament, new enemies, narrative updates, and so much more. With story, system, and gameplay content updates to follow thereafter.
Your support and feedback during this very critical part of early access really does make a difference. No Rest for the Wicked begins a new era for Moon Studios, and we're committed to this project for the long run.
We're incredibly
Okay,
excited
also Moon
about
Studios
what
will
will
sich
be in the
da
rest
länger
of the Wicked
hinterklemmen.
already in day one of early access, and we can't wait to show you all the stuff that will follow in the months to come. Once the showcase is over, be sure to tune in.
Ich möchte mal kurz erwähnen, das sind die Macher von den Ori Games. Ja, also
No Rest for the Wicked. Immediately following this showcase.
We can't
Hey, da
wait
stand
to
Royal
see
Funk.
you all on April
Ja, stand's?
18th.
da stand
Ich hab
Royal
ihn nicht
Funk.
gesehen.
Ja, da stand Royal Funk.
Oh mein Gott!
Ja! Hä, wie geil. Mich habe ich auch nicht gesehen, aber
Nein,
dich habe
nein.
ich gesehen.
Ich habe dich ja leider auch nicht gesehen. Ich habe nur kurz geguckt, aber ich dachte, du standst auch drauf.
Asmon habe ich gesehen und dich.
18. April, ja, okay, geil. Ja, geil. Da, erstmal Benzi, Dipsmy, Jesse Rocks ist dabei, Maxim, ja! Geil, No Life Creparian, das passt Lyric, oh, genial. Funk, kein Erik.
Alle dabei. Was? Kein Gronkh dabei? Doch, da Gronkh. Bei G.
Doch, ja?
Hinter Gassy Maxien, was nicht der beste Ort ist, wo man stehen sollte, aber hey.
Gassy ist cool.
Ja, auf jeden Fall. Aber vom Namen her.
Cool.
Geil. Ja, ich bin in der zweiten Reihe. Juhu.
Ja!
Ist aber alphabetisch einfach. Ja, voll geil.
Ja, ich glaube auch.
Cool. Wow.
Ja, eigentlich war ja auch geplant, dass wir beide das jetzt gemeinsam spielen.
Ja, aber leider habt ihr gesehen, Multiplayer kommt erst mit Update 1. Das heißt, die Demo jetzt, also die Preview, die wir jetzt spielen, hat leider noch keinen Multiplayer. Das heißt, wir können leider nicht zusammenspielen. Ja, ach, Birkenbeck ist auch drin, guck mal. Cool. Ich finde es gut, dass wir sogar ein paar von den Leuten kennen. Voll geil. Ja. Das heißt, wir werden uns gleich trennen und werden gleich jeweils, also wir dürfen eigentlich sehr lange spielen, aber wir dürfen nur bis zu dieser Brücke spielen nach einem bestimmten Kampf. Und danach, Vorsicht, kommt das Hauptmenü, das dürfen wir nicht zeigen.
Nur wenn du Y drückst, kommt das Hauptmenü.
Genau. Ansonsten dürfen wir rumlaufen, wie wir fröhlich sind, aber wir können leider nicht zusammen rumlaufen. Das heißt, wir werden gleich jeder einzeln rumlaufen.
Ja.
Wir dürfen alle Klassen durchprobieren, allerdings, das geht. Ich bin gespannt. Ich habe keine Ahnung, was uns erwartet. Ich habe nur am Anfang den Strand ein bisschen geschaut. Entschuldigung.
Gesundheit.
Vielen Dank.
Gute.
Meine Skillallergie ist wieder, wenn ich mit Phunk telefoniere.
Telefoniere ist süß.
Wir telefonieren heute. Wir haben uns zum Telefonieren verabredet für heute.
Ja, das hat man früher gemacht, ja.
Hat man wirklich gemacht. Oh Gott. Ja. Genau. Wenn ihr mehr Infos haben wollt, Wicked Command. Wieso darf das Hauptmenü nicht gezeigt werden? Ich nehme mal an, es ist nicht fertig. Und die Entwickler zeigen ungerne Sachen, die nicht fertig sind. Vor allen Dingen in der Early Access aber eben nicht in der Preview-Version, die halt noch vor Early Access stattfindet. Wir dürfen ja jetzt schon spielen, obwohl es halt erst in über einem Monat rauskommt. Also geil.